I'm going to add a little bit of dish soap, and that's just going to trap some of the gas inside of bubbles, okay? And we're going to see if that actually will help us see this a little bit, okay? Does anyone see anything happening in there? Yeah. Not really, okay? So this does happen. We can separate these two parts here, but we need to use something called a catalyst. Does anyone know what that is? What's a catalyst?
Makes particles move faster.
Exactly. Okay, speeds reactions up, makes particles move faster. So what I have in here is a supersaturated solution of water and potassium iodide. And I'm going to dump this in here, and we're going to observe the reaction that happens. Okay? So take a moment here. Ew. I told you it would make a huge mess.
She's still on there, eh?
Now that's one thing you definitely don't want to do, because you'll notice that I'm still wearing gloves because this is still made with a good mixture of hydrogen peroxide and the very strong concentrated hydrogen peroxide. So it will cause chemical burns on your hands. And you'll also see the steam rising from this particular reaction here. What is this called when you have something that produces heat? An exothermic reaction. So what we have here is an exothermic reaction. We saw this was producing heat, steam. Now, we call this elephant toothpaste, okay? Because if you're a giant elephant, of course, you're going to need some giant toothpaste. Except I wouldn't recommend this, brushing your teeth with a mixture of dish soap and hydrogen peroxide. Not very yummy. This is something we did on TV one time. One of the morning shows came here, and we did some experiments with them. And after going through all of the safety and saying, you know, don't touch this, blah, 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 the anchorman, the gentleman who was actually hosting the show, came up and grabbed a whole handful of this and he put it on his head. Yeah.
Did he die?
No, but he went home with some pretty severe chemical burns on his head that day, I tell you.
Did he know it was going to be that?
Well, if he'd been listening to the person who was actually doing the experiment, he would have known that, because the person who was doing the experiment, of course, had gloves on and things like that, and said, we're not going to touch this, but he got very excited when it was all done and viewed it like this. He thought it was just like bubble bath, and it is definitely not like bubble bath. So yeah, he went home with some really nice white kind of blistery marks on his head that day, so he had to have a lot of makeup in the makeup room to fix that up for him.